Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys at Magic. This is Hunter, David, Steven, and Shane. Say what up, boys.
Hey,
What's up,
what's up,
nerds?
guys?
Hey, what's going on?
We are back with our Commander Grades video. This time, we're taking a look at the main set of Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth. We have so many legendaries to talk about, so we're splitting it up into different videos. This video, we are talking about all of the mono-white potential commanders from the set. We are starting it off with Bill the Pony. Bill the Pony is 3 and a white for a 1/4 legendary creature, horse. It says whenever Bill the Pony enters the battlefield, create 2 food tokens. Has another ability, we can sacrifice a food. Until end of turn, target creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power.
So giving this guy an apple just makes him kick or something, right? Is that what's trying to... What's the lore here? His toughness instead of his power. Get it?
I get it. Back legs.
Thanks, dude.
I love Bill the Pony. I think this is fantastic. It does absolutely nothing when you run out of food. But I think killing someone with Bill the Pony with 1 damage at a time would be hilarious.
It's like a real horse, dude. Does nothing when you give it no food.
I mean, it could also deal 4 damage at a time.
Just twice, though. Well, at least on its
Just
own.
try. Yo, unless this had horsemanship, I'm gonna pass.
I mean, I know this is gonna sound like silly, but like, I don't really when I see like the 2 food tokens or like the food token like theme going on after this set with as many cards as there are, I'm not worried about it, dude. I feel like there's so much food production, it's not even funny.
We are getting ready to go back into Eldraine as well, where that was a set that did have a food focus.
We are in Monowhite here with Bill the Pony, though, so make as much food as you can with Monowhite. I mean, technically, if you put like Mondrak in the deck or Anointed Procession, you can
Ooh.
double the amount when Bill the Pony enters.
Oh man, you've got 4.
Hell yeah, dude. Then you can sacrifice it and do 4 points of damage to someone. Let's go.
What if you double the double, David?
Well, then you double, dude. Now we're working with exponents, but this pony's still bad.
Yep. Let's go.
Let's move on to the grades for Bill the Pony. I am unfortunately going to have to give him a D.
He does something. I'm gonna give him a D.
I'm going to be really gracious, and just because it's Bill the Pony, I'm going to give him a D.
I'm gonna say, call me when you're a horse, Bill the Pony, but you're getting a D.
He's not Bill the Horse. Yep, Bill the Pony getting average grade of a D. Next up, Boromir, Warden of the Tower. It is 2 and a white for a 3/3 legendary creature, human soldier. It's got vigilance and says whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. Also says sacrifice Boromir, Warden of the Tower. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. The ring tempts you. It's one of those effects where you can sacrifice your commander to give your stuff protection. It's never done it for me.
Yeah, I don't like this
It's got a
card.
super narrow lane.
Card sucks.
Doesn't seem like a commander to me.
How relevant do we think that first ability is, though? Because that actually
Vigilance, pretty good.
okay. I wasn't actually thinking about that one. I was thinking about the real ability here. Vigilance is fine. 3 mana for a 3/3 vigilance. It's fine. The first ability, though, of like whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter it. I mean, that gets rid of the entire cycle of like Fierce Guardianship. And there's tons of other cards out there that you can cheat or you can cast without paying the mana cost of.
That's why I said it's too narrow.
It's incredibly narrow. Yes, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just wondering, like, is this actually going to be something that you think is going to be more relevant than what it kind of leads on?
No.
All right. Well, he said no, so I'm going to go with that.
I mean, here's my thing, man. Like, I love the Fierce Guardianship and free spell cost thing, but like, how expensive of a deck are you building to where you're putting this into decks that usually run CDH stuff? Like, I don't see this facing a deck that's gonna have like a bunch of free spells. I mean, maybe Deadly Rollick. Like, I'll give you that one, but like, other than that, man, I just don't see what. No.
Yeah, I don't know about this. Let's move on to the grades. I am going to give this a F.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm giving it an F too.
I'm gonna give this an E for exile. Just exile it away. Add to an F.
You know, I'm actually a little bit higher on this card than what you guys are. I do like that last ability. I think that like is something that's somewhat relevant. And I don't know. I'm not entirely sold that the second ability is awful. I'm gonna give it a D.
Well, Boromir, Warden of the Tower, is going to get an average grade from us of an F. Moving on to Eowyn, Lady of Rohan. It is 2 and a white for a 2/4 legendary creature human noble. It says at the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature gains your choice of first strike or vigilance until end of turn. If that creature is equipped, it gains first strike and vigilance until end of turn instead. Equipped ability to activate cost 1 less to activate. I heard you like equipment, David.
Yeah, this is like the 900th variant of an equipment-based commander, and this one being Monowhite, I feel like really hurts it. I don't think this is any better than any of the other ones out there, and a lot of the equipment that I would want to be putting on my commander or creatures in general are probably going to give those kinds of abilities, first strike and vigilance, anyways. I don't think she's very good.
Oh, I think she goes in the 99 of an equipment matters for sure.
I think she's pretty cool. I mean, given the ability every single combat to give something first strike or vigilance, really makes it a little bit more flexible on do I need a block next turn or do I want to get in with quick damage? We'll see.
I mean, it is only on your turn. I understand that vigilance obviously would have an impact on your opponent's turns, but like, it's not like you can keep a blocker back and be like, I'm going to make a first striking creature whenever my opponent tries to swing at me.
I understand that.
Yeah, it's just not for me. Going off of what David said, there are so many cards that do equipments way better that I'd rather just not use this one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's move on to the grades. Steven, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give it a D. Still does something.
It does do something. I'm going to give it a D as well.
Same. I'm going to give this a D as well.
I'm going to join all of you guys. This is a D from me. Eowyn, Lady of Rohan, average grade. It's going to be a D. Next up, Faramir, Field Commander. It's 3 and a white for a 3/3 legendary human soldier. It says at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under your control this turn, draw a card. And whenever the ring tempts you, if you choose a creature other than Faramir, Field Commander, as your ring bearer, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token.
This feels like an uncommon card, my dude.
Yeah, it is. But
I know, I'm just
is
saying.
is it good, David?
I'm actually kind of sensing that I'm much higher on this card than what Shane is. This gives you a creature for you to sacrifice, which isn't difficult to do, and that's potentially just like card draw on a white creature. So I don't know, man. I like that.
Card to sacrifice. What is that? What are you alluding to?
If a creature died under your control, so like I don't know, you can sack it, you can swing, and I guess maybe just have it die to combat or something like that. But I mean, he's pretty easy to proc, and that's going to be just card draw and a card draw advantage on a commander in white. White doesn't do card draw engines very well.
You
I
do
feel like
need to
nowadays
make
it's,
the ring tempt you in some capacity to make that human. This doesn't tempt you
yeah,
on its own.
you have to do a step before you get the 1/1.
All right, that is true. Maybe I was speaking too highly on this card. I just get excited whenever white does card draw.
So when I
Yeah,
look at this
like card
card,
draw.
I see the artwork and I see his face looking up at the sky as if he's saying, "Holy crap, someone picked me to be the commander."
He's like praising you.
Yeah. Because it's not going to happen.
I mean, it's not horrible. Like honestly, when I first started saying that, it's like I didn't mean to speak so low of it so quickly. I mean, it does like I do get that the top part almost feels like a Staxy. Okay, not Staxy. Sorry, bad word, bad verbiage. But like I just feel like this card would sit around and just kind of do something passively for you. But it just seems like a 4 mana, and you're just kind of like, I don't know.
Let's move on to the grades. Shane, what are you going to give Faramir?
I'm still just in the middle with it. I think I'm just gonna give it a C.
I'm actually going to go lower. I think this is a D.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm so close with you, man. That's this. I honestly, I'm almost at the point where I want to give this an F, but it's a D.
I like how I said that, like, I'm going to be more positive than Shane, and he's going to give this a higher grade than me. This is a D.
Maybe I misspoke. I'm gonna go to a D now too.
What? All right. Well, Faramir is going to give the average grade of a D.
Peer pressure.
All right, remember, you only get one takesy backsy per video.
That wasn't a takesy backsy. That was a mind changey.
Takesy
Backseat?
backsy. Yeah.
No, I didn't take it. Whatever.
You did make me joke.
Moving on to Frodo, Determined Hero. It is 1 and a white for a 2/2 legendary creature, halfling warrior. It says when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may attach target equipment you control with mana value 2 or 3 to Frodo. As long as it's your turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to Frodo.
Pretty
Here
specific.
you go,
dude.
Hunter.
Equipment matters?
This is your equipment matters commander.
It's better. It's only 2 mana too. Comes in cheap. You can just go ahead and attach equipment to it for free.
This card is amazing.
And
Put
then
the
you
boots on.
swing
And the
in,
pants on.
and he doesn't get hit. It's great.
Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy.
The entire cycle of the Sword of X and Y, all of them work here with Frodo. So that's fantastic. Not only are you going to be preventing that damage, but now you're also going to be offering out protection too to make this guy unblockable.
That's nuts.
This card is fantastic. I mean, I think we have another case of good card good here.
Good card, good. Let's move on to the grades then. If you think the good card is good, what is your good grade?
I'm going to give this a B. I love the fact that it comes down, low cost, can re-equip something, and then if you swing in, you don't really have to worry about any damage being dealt to it. It's great.
Yeah, that's amazing, dude. I'm a B as well.
I'm going to join you guys. I'm a B.
This card comes down cheap, like what you guys mentioned, does a lot of things, but ultimately it's a monocolor equipment matters commander, and I don't think I can give that any higher than a C.
Fair enough.
Well, Frodo, Determined Hero, is determined to get the average grade of a B. The next card we're talking about is Gandalf the White. It is 3 and 2 white for a 4/5 legendary creature avatar wizard. It has flash. It says you may cast legendary spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. If a legendary permanent or an artifact entering or leaving the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. This is a very, very good card.
Dude, I love those abilities, man. This is like the third time we've seen that ability, haven't we?
It's like all the Gandalfs do this.
Oh, do they? Okay. then that's
No,
what
they
I want.
don't. They don't.
Oh,
Well,
Well,
the
okay.
blue one does something pretty similar.
I'm thinking of not Norrin. Sorry, what's the god? Not god.
You're thinking of Elish Norn.
Traitor. Elish, yeah. I like her.
You're thinking of Panharmonicon.
Exactly. I like those, and I like this. Except for Flash is really good.
What if you
Yeah,
could cast Elish Norn and Panharmonicon at flash speed?
Dude,
You could.
you would get so many triggers. Oh my god.
You could put both of those cards in this deck. That's fantastic. Gandalf the White. Really, really good. David, what do you think?
I think he's a pretty good card. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he's pretty straightforward, and you guys have kind of already mentioned what you want to do with him. I mean, I don't know. Take advantage of his ability. My only concern here being is he is 5 mana and he is mono white. So those are some restrictions. The flash on this card, however, is very nice. And then obviously the flash on everything else that you're going to care about is pretty impactful too.
Throw a Smothering Tithe in there, you'll be fine.
Let's move on to the grades. I'm going to start this off, and I'm going to give Gandalf the White an A.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay.
Love it, dude.
Now I know how crazy I sound whenever I give a card an A, and it definitely didn't deserve it.
Well, you're about to say B right now, and I'm about to go.
It's
not that
definitely a
different.
B.
That's not that different than an A.
It's a
I think
massive
it's a
difference.
B as well.
I mean, an A and a B are both passing grades, and I think they're both pretty solid. I'm going to give this a B as well. I don't think this is up in A territory, but this is a B.
Gandalf the White gets the average grade of a B. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Hunter. I am jumping in the middle of this recording here because I'm editing the video, and I realized we did not talk about Gandalf White Rider. For whatever reason, we just couldn't get the guys together for just a quick video. We did discuss it through text message, though. So I'm just going to go over Gandalf White Rider real quick by myself. It is 3 and a white for a 3/3 legendary creature avatar wizard. Got Vigilance, and it says whenever you cast a spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn, and scry 1. And whenever Gandalf White Rider dies, you may put it into its owner's library 5th from the top. We were all kind of agreements in the text message thread. We are going to give this an average of a C. You can definitely make it go wide, go crazy, cast a bunch of spells, make all your creatures go higher, more power, and you can scry a bunch, getting what you want. When it dies, you could put it 5th from the top if you wanted the risk of your library getting shuffled and losing your commander for a while. Your call. Granted, if you are playing that low to the ground, casting spells, making things bigger very quickly, you probably can have that card drop, but it is a little difficult in white. So we are in mono white. So average grade for Gandalf the White is going to be a C. Next up, Landroval Horizon Witness. 4 and a white for a 3/4 legendary creature, Bird Noble. Got Flying, says whenever 2 or more creatures you control attack a player, target attacking creature without flying gains flying until end of turn. We have another eagle that gives something else flying.
Yeah, it's the same.
That's cute. This is expensive, incredibly slow, and not impactful.
I agree.
This card's
Yeah.
not great.
I feel like flying used to be way more impactful in Magic. And
Duh.
At a time,
No. Flying is still impactful in Magic.
I'm not saying it's not, Steven. I said it used to be more.
Continue.
With that being said, this ability to give something else flying is not as impactful. Back in the
That's true.
day, in old Magic, I would say this card is very good. This card as a commander, not very good.
Nowadays this is what you would call a limited bomb. Maybe.
I would play this in limited.
Yeah, I would too. I'm just saying the word bomb maybe might have been too aggressive.
Well, let's move on to the grades for Landroval as a commander, Steven.
It does something, but not really well. So I'm gonna give this an F.
I'm already on the next card. This is an F.
Yeah, it's an F.
I'm going to give this a D. I don't think it's F territory for me. But Landroval is going to get an average grade of an F. The next one is Rosie Cotton of South Lane. It is 2 and a white for a 1/1 legendary creature, Halfling Peasant. It says when it enters the battlefield, create a food token. And whenever you create a token, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control other than Rosie. I think this is pretty cool. You can make any kind of tokens to put counters on things except herself, which really, really harms this card because she's very fragile with 1 toughness.
I mean, she's feeding her kids, not herself in this art, dude. She's spreading the counters, making other things grow.
She's so lovely.
I mean, I think we're talking about this card, and it kind of is a little reminiscent on Bill the Pony. Obviously, we're in mono white. Food production might not be that, pertinent, but this does say whenever you create a token, and obviously we do know white is really good when it comes to making tokens.
That's true.
Yeah, I think the board state can get a hand pretty quickly if you're just throwing in token makers.
Mm-hmm.
It's go wide, go tall, essentially.
Go Rosie.
Go big.
Go Rosie. He's got to
Don't
find
go
a way
home.
to protect Rosie because, like I said at the beginning, 1 toughness is scary.
Yeah, but I mean, she's cheap and she's in white, so like you do have plenty of options for protection there.
I know.
She probably won't gather that much hate either in the beginning, right? She's gonna sit around, just make some food, chill, hang out with her kids.
Let's move on to the grades. I'm going to give Rosie Cotton of South Lane a C.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna give her a C as well.
I am as well.
We are all in agreement.
All right. Well, Rosie Cotton of the South Lane gets the average grade of a C. Next up, her husband, Samwise the Stouthearted. It is 1 and a white for a 2/1 legendary creature, Halfling Peasant. It's got Flash. It says when Samwise the Stouthearted enters the battlefield, choose up to 1 target permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. Return it to your hand. Then the ring tempts you.
I mean, that seems like a good ability, but
It's just sitting in the command zone, just letting you return something that was better.
yeah, I just don't know. I want to play this as my commander.
It's nice to
I feel
have
like-
it in your back pocket.
I feel like you need to have instant speed flicker effects for this to be relevant.
I would agree with you.
It's doable in white.
I'm not on this card whatsoever.
Why not?
I just don't. There are cards that do it just the same, if not better. Cool. I have it in my command zone rather than have it in my hand. I rather do anything else.
I'm in agreement with Steven here, and I think he has a really big point in that if you are playing with this as your commander, your deck kind of doesn't have a commander, because this is just like helping the other things out without actually really providing any value.
I'm gonna agree with David.
Let's move on to the grades. I think having this, like I said, in the command zone whenever you want is nice enough to get a D.
I was gonna say it barely gets the D.
I actually don't think it gets at that point. I think this gets an F because as a commander, it's pointless.
Yeah, this card is a D. This isn't really going to do much of anything most of the time.
Samwise the Stouthearted is going to get the average grade of a D. And the final white card we're talking about today is Saradoc, Master of Buckland. This is 3 and a white for a 2/4 legendary creature halfling citizen. It says whenever Saradoc, Master of Buckland, or another non-token creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 white halfling creature token. It also says tap 2 other untapped halflings you control. Saradoc gets +2/+0 and gains lifelink until end of turn. Steven, what do we think?
Oh boy. It's an interesting card. I wish it wasn't 4 mana. Other than that, I think it's pretty solid. I just think it's super slow. Like aggressively slow.
Very reminiscent of like Mentor of the Meek though. But I don't know if I'd want that to be my commander.
I think the ability for 4 mana, granted, to get 2 bodies is nice. It instantly comes in with another 1/1. So, I mean, you're gonna have to be halfling tribal or essentially get a way to, I know David's gonna say flicker this to get more 1/1 halflings to make sure you're always tapping 2 untapped halflings to get +2/+0. But you can do that as many times as you want. There's no limit on that, which is nice.
This doesn't pump its toughness though, and having 4 toughness, I feel like is in the realm of like I'm still going to chump block this. And I mean, are you really going to tap down your entire board to try and one-shot somebody? Because I feel like you're going to leave yourself so exposed if you do that you're probably going to die on blowback. I mean, it's cute. It does have lifelink, so it has like a kind of a built-in safety valve. But I mean, like commander damage is still very much so a real thing.
Oh yeah, and that's what you're gonna try to do, right? Gum up the board with a whole bunch of 1/1 white halfling creature tokens. Just make a whole bunch, and then Rogue's Passage, tap all the halflings down, kill an opponent. Boom.
Yeah, but your opponents are probably going to have a removal spell because they, well, should be putting removal spells in their deck. I don't think this card is all that great. I think, like what Steven mentioned, it's just kind of like it's very steamrolly, but it's like very slow to get started. So I don't know. If you can get this out early and you are doing your thing for like 4 turns, then sure, this is probably going to be able to do some damage. But I don't know. Your opponents, if they're not playing with removal or board wipes, I guess your deck is working.
Yeah, if any of the viewers at home play with a pod like ours, all of our decks I feel like are board white tribal.
That's just you.
I'm gonna say I only include 2 board wipes per deck. Never any more, never any less.
Let's move on to the grades. David, what are you giving Saradoc?
I'm gonna give Saradoc a C, despite what I talked about it, because I feel like there is still some potential for it. And it's not necessarily just like tokens that to be able to proc him for the like power 2 or less. So I don't know. There's things that you could do here. I'm gonna give him a C for the token production.
I think I'm gonna go 1 lower. I'm gonna give him a D.
I'm gonna go back up to a C.
And I'm going to go back down to a D.
Well, look at us, all over the place. Saradoc, Master of Buckland, is gonna get an average grade of a C. And that is gonna do it for us today. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. What are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button. Become a guy that magics. Also, comment down below letting us know what you thought of our grades on these cards. Did you agree with them? Did you disagree with them? Let us know. And in the description, you will find links to our Instagram, our TikTok, and our Twitter. That is at Guys at Magic for every single one. Follow along on all of those as well. And until the next video, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye now.